Hello viewers, you're looking at the passenger side bank of 3.4 in my 3rd Gen 4runner. I've already taken the intake tube off here that run to the air cleaner so I could get easy access to the side over here. On the 3.4 you got individual coil packs on the passenger side. You got a plug wire that goes on here that runs over to the driver's side. Once this is in and on the plug, these little clips go on here. I can show you that as I put one back in. Not really a whole lot of stuff to show on a plug change. So plug socket is nice. If you've got one, a regular socket will work, but you get a nice little rubber jobby in the end there that you really can't see in that picture. There we go. That's a little better. You can see there's a rubber thing inside there. That helps hold the spark plug because you don't want to break the electrodes. You don't want to get crooked on the plug. And that also will hold the plug in place when you're going down in there and putting them in and bringing them out. So all that's pretty elementary. The plugs on this particular engine have 218,000 miles on them. Can't get that into focus. I want to get it into focus so you can see how badly worn that is. Let me block some of the rest of this in the background. Yeah, okay. See that? Let me grab one that's not worn. Another thing that a lot of people don't know, I go to my Toyota dealer and you get the Toyota genuine part. Still got the correct Denso K16 TR11 part number. Even says Denso on the plug. Denso K16 TR11, and you need these because of the double electrode. Like the little sticker on the other side of the engine says over there, this engine requires the dual electrode plug. Don't let them try to tell you there are other plugs that cross-reference over to these that'll work just as well, because they won't. There are other plugs maybe that cross-reference, but they won't work as well. If it says it needs a dual electrode, it does. Now you can tell here, the top one is the new one, the bottom one is the 118,000 mile plug. And it's not round anymore, it's oval shaped. The nice sharp bends on the electrode ends are kind of worn. So it was definitely time for plugs. These plugs last great. Like I say, these are 118,000 miles on these used plugs here. So time for the new ones. Let me grab some anti-seize and we'll continue here. You're always going to want to put anti-seize on metal plugs when you put them in an aluminum head. Another tip here on the aluminum head business, do the plugs while the engine is cold. You can get them out when the engine is warm, but you run a greater risk of pulling the threads out of the aluminum head. So you want to use a Permatex or another brand of anti-seize. Permatex is great. This is like a lifetime supply jar of it here, but I get at least as much on me as I do on a product when I'm working with it. Now it says to gap these spark plugs, but I don't have any way to gap a dual electrode plug. I just put a light coating of the anti-seize on here. It doesn't matter if it gets a little glob or gets any down the electrodes, isn't going to hurt anything. You put your new plug into your plug socket thusly, it'll hold it in place. Drop it down in the hole, try to be easy, don't bounce it off the sides or drop the plug down in there. You're going to want to run it in finger tight here. Get my ratchet ready and bring that down. Now these are resistor type plugs, and what that means is this little double washer here at the bottom Somehow or another that helps keep radio noise and things like that out. You always want to put a resistor plug in an engine if you got radio or CB or something. Now when you bring a plug down, you'll feel it come down tight, just a little snug, and then you want to give it just a little bit more until it feels snug again, and that's crushing those little washers. Now you can see here, maybe new plug versus old. Maybe I can show that washer crush thing there too. Take a little protector off that keeps the electrodes from getting smashed when it's in the box. You can't really tell. I'm going to say those little washers, they're made to compress when the plug is brought down tight. So that's how you get that in. I'll put this coil pack here back on. It takes a 10 millimeter bolt in the top. Oops. There. That you want to run down nice and snug. You don't want to over tighten it because it's in plastic. This little clip here goes on here. And then the plug wire here for the other side. And that all clips down. Bring your 10 millimeter socket over here with your ratchet. Snug that down. And again, that's plastic. It's got a little metal sleeve in there so you don't over tighten it, but you don't need to bring it down crazy tight. The little clip, make sure you get that back on till it clips. Make sure you get this on till it clips. A trick for getting these off, they got a little catcher right there. I'll show you. They're hard to squeeze with your thumb, so I squeeze it with the screwdriver and then pull it up. You see the little notch right there kind of helps catch the screwdriver. Because you try to do these with your fingers, they're very tough. And then underneath on this part, you can catch that with the screwdriver as well and pop that off. So cold engine with aluminum heads. You want to make sure you put anti-seize on there. You can drop your screwdriver, but don't drop your spark plugs on the floor. You can gap them. If you have a single electrode plug, use a gapper like this or feeler gauges like this to gap them, but you can't gap these dual electrode plugs. So do your own maintenance. I can show you other things like the PVC valve, how to clean that because I cleaned this one, how to replace the fuel filter. If you have any questions or want to see a whole tune-up done on something, leave me something in the comments or what have you, and maybe I can do something more. But just do the simple things. Buy your stuff like I did at the dealership. These plugs at the auto parts store were $11.99 a piece, was the cheapest I could find them, and I got them for $2.66 a piece at the dealer. So some things it pays to go to the dealer and get. Again, any questions, let me know. Like and subscribe if you like it. Thanks. Have a great day.